Hey everybody! Well, I cannot believe it, but I managed to get my hands on another amazing and beautiful replica of the Omni from the TV show Voyagers. A very hard to find prop, especially one made out of metal and good quality materials. And this one here is one of those. Now, I'm going to show you the unboxing. I got to be honest, I started to unbox this and I almost got completely done with it. And I realized this thing was so packaged so nice that I felt I really needed to share this with all of you because of how well it was done. So let's start with opening this now. And right here, right off the bat, you get this wonderful note from the seller, and it says, "Thank you. I hope you enjoy your Omni as much as I enjoyed the challenge of creating it. I wanted one for myself since I was a boy in 1982 watching the show with my brothers. I've made a total of 15 of them and will not be making any more in the future. This was a labor of love for over 4 years. It's amazing that I ever got it done. There were many times I hit a hitch in the process and was ready to give up, but after a while I would work through the problem and get renewed vigor for the project, and I'm glad I did. It's a cool feeling to know that something that I created will spread across the country or even the world to be collected and appreciated by a handful of people, 15 like you. Enjoy your Omni number 13. So these are numbered, and he only made 15, and he said he's not making any more of these, and he spent 4 years making these. It's incredible. So yeah, these are really special pieces. Okay, so like I said, I had to repackage everything to kind of give you an idea of how it's packaged. It was actually packaged much, much better than this. And there was even more packing than this I have off to the side here. So let's start with this. Take this out of here. Well, actually, let's take all of this out. I think that's the Omni itself. I haven't even looked at it. I haven't unwrapped that yet. This other stuff I did get a glimpse at, so that was good. All right, there's some more stuff here. And you get a lot of stuff with this, and I'm so impressed with it. It's just insane what an amazing job this person did. All right, so let's get this all out of the way. Let's make sure I'm still in camera. Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead and cut this. All right. Now, this is pretty cool. He added this little feature on here, and let me take all this out of the way. All right, so now what this is he made a nice little fictional decommissioning document for the Omnis, for each one of these. So they're each going to have like a decommissioning papers, which I think is pretty cool. Nice little touch for this. All right. I mean, look at how nice everything's done. It's all wrapped. Okay. And then let me see here. All right, so on the inside here, you get this really cool framed document right here. All right, so let me show you this. Now, I'm not going to read this, but I'll try to not get the reflection on here. So you can kind of take a look at this, and he just kind of made this up, but I think it's cool. It's like a decommissioning from the Global Quantum Council, and it's really neat how he did all this. It looks like an official document, and he's got like names blocked out like a real government document would do. And it's all in reference to this particular Omni, which is number 13. So I'm sorry for the reflection here. I'm trying not to get such a reflection on here. But hopefully you can read all this. Goes all the way to the bottom. And then right here at the bottom here in particular, see there's a lot going on. On the bottom it says, "This is evidenced by the display being forever locked in Stockholm, Sweden, due to the time circuits being removed and destroyed." So each one of these Omnis has a location on the globe that is unique to that Omni, which is another cool thing that I think he did on that. So yeah, this is a neat little document that gets included with this. All right, so now let's take a look at this. This is really nice. So he actually gives you a display case for this, a little, kind of like the glass dome display cases. And that's what this is. Oh God, I forgot about that. That is so cool too. All right, there's so much to this. I'm so excited about this. This is so cool. It's just so much more than I was expecting for this. Now this is really cool. He included one of these with each one of these Omnis. This is a Voyager's, actually here, let me take it out of the plastic because I'm just going to get nothing but reflection on here. So apparently there was a Voyagers paperback that I never knew about. If I had known about one of these, I would have bought it. And it's clearly an old book, probably from 1982 when the show came out. So here is the Voyagers. Let's see if I can get a side view of this. The Voyagers paperback right there. You can see John Eric Hexum and Mino Peluche, who played Phineas Fogg and Jeffrey Jones in from a clip from one of the episodes. Back here you can see all this. Kind of tells about the show. And it's just a short book, and it was made for, like kids. And what's cool, now I did have to block out the inside here because there's a student's name and phone number right there. And what's neat is you can tell this book is old because there is the browning on the edges of the pages. And it has that old book smell, which I love. And this is in surprisingly good condition. So he included one of these with each one of these Omnis. There was 15. So I'm definitely going to read this. It's probably just a book of the pilot episode or something. But I think that's really neat. So another great thing that he included with this. Okay, now let's take a look at this case. So I'm going to cut this. And just want to make sure there's no addresses showing on here. Alright, so let me flip this over. Get this out of here. Alright, now let's open this thing. This was really nice. I was actually, this is another nice surprise. And certainly something he didn't have to add, but he did, and I think it's fantastic. So here we got this beautiful globe glass case. Look at that. This is absolutely fantastic. So you get this nice glass globe case on here. Just lifts off there like that. And then the base, let's see here. He actually, this is really cool. So he actually modified it by adding this. Look at that. That is an engraved Voyager's emblem on there. And the Omni is going to sit right on there. That is so cool. So you'll be able to display your Omni on this particular plaque. Very, very awesome. Alright, so let's take a look at the main event here now. I am very anxious to see how this Omni looks. I can tell you it's got some weight to it. It's not as heavy as the original one that I have, but this is metal. Let's see, how is this sealed here? Oh, I guess I just cut the wrong spot. Okay. And I'm going to do a comparison between the old one and the new one so we can see the differences of this. So this is probably going to end up being a long video, so I do apologize for that. But there was just so much to show you with this and so much to tell you about. So get all this open. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so now I did, look at that. That is so nice right there. Time waits for no man. It's got the Voyager's V. Your handmade Omni number 13 is inside. That's very, very cool. Very, very nice. Let me cut this tape back here. Alright, so let's take a look at this thing. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, wow. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That looks amazing. Oh my gosh, that is heavy. Ooh, I love it. The weight is great on this. Oh, there's some paperwork in here. I love the packaging. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's see. Oh man, this is just too cool. Let's see what we got with this piece of paper here. Alright, so let me see if I can read this sideways. Omni lights. Press and hold side button while Omni is... I'm sorry, let me turn around. I can't read this sideways. Okay, so press and hold side button while Omni is flat level for red light to blink. 2, while light is blinking, tilt Omni toward user for light to turn steady green. Yeah, and I'll show you this feature because it's really cool. He's got a directional switch in there that allows the light to switch colors, and I think that's an absolutely ingenious method of doing the electronics battery. The battery in this Omni is a coin style 2032. Oh good, you can find those pretty much everywhere. It is a long life battery and will not need frequent replacement. To replace battery, okay, so that just kind of tells you how to replace it down there. Aside from removing back cover to replace battery, do not attempt to disassemble this Omni in any way. Oh no, there's no way I would do that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's take a look at this jewel. Oh man. I am telling you, finding Omnis that are quality made and metal is virtually impossible. There's a ton of 3D printed ones out there though. Let me see. Oh my god, this thing is amazing. Okay, wow, look at this. That is awesome. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get this set up on my regular studio platform, and we'll take a good close look at this. Oh my god, this is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. All right, let's take a closer look at this. Okay, so now let's get a good look at this. First of all, the patina on this is perfect. If you watch the show, the Voyager Omni has this kind of patina on it. It's like a tarnished brass. I believe this is made of brass, and I don't know if he painted this patina on here or if it's natural. I think he painted it by looking at it, and it looks like he put a clear coat on it to protect it. But it looks absolutely accurate. It's fantastic. We have the engraved V, Voyager's V, and it has the time waits for no man on the outside rim of the lid. And then he has this decoration up here. I don't remember if the actual Omni has that. I'll have to look. He said he took a couple of liberties with this, but I think the overall shaping of it is fantastic. The only thing I do wish he would have put on was the activation button. There's a little plunger button that they push, and it would, you know, go, and then they disappear and go off into the next time zone. And I do wish he would have put that on there. In the description, he said he didn't include it because he felt it made it look too much like a stopwatch. But it, you know, that's kind of how it looked on the show. So that's one thing I do wish that he would have put on. I also think the thickness of this is very accurate as well. And then on the back here, we never really got a good look at the clip, the belt clip on the original Omni. So I think he probably took some artistic license here, but I think it looks really good. I think this is a nice decorative way of doing it. It's got the nice V in there. I mean, that was very clever. It looks really good. In the description, he said this is a non-functional clip. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's not a very thick thing. I mean, this is heavy. And he pointed out, and he made it very clear, that this is not a toy and it wasn't made for cosplay. You know, if you're going to dress up as Phineas Fogg at a convention, you don't really want to be wearing this or playing around with it. It's not, it is a very, very high-end piece. I mean, this is like a fine piece of jewelry, just like I mentioned on the other one. And here you can see that it is engraved on here. Serial number 13, issued, and PB. That must be his initials. I don't know the gentleman's name that made this. He certainly deserves all the credit in the world for making it. It's absolutely stunning. And here's the button for the activation. All right, so let's take a look at the inside. All right, so let's open up this lid, and on the inside, look at that. Look at all that beautiful, beautifully done detail on here. Now this one is the Stockholm version. They all have each one of these has their own location on there. And what I really, really like is he put that clear dome on there. See that clear dome? And it has the crosshairs on it. Now in the early episodes of Voyagers, you could see that dome on the Omni, and then in later episodes, it was just gone. And I'm assuming that it probably just fell off or got lost during filming, and they just never replaced it. I mean, that would happen. That Omni prop got a lot of abuse, and I don't know how many they made for the show. They obviously had the Hero that was like this, where it's for close-ups, just like this, and it had the working lights and the dials that would turn. And then they probably had the stunt one because it was always on Bog's belt, and he would get thrown in the water and get in fights, and I'm sure that one was probably just some cheap molded one. But this one here is just absolutely stunning. Now you can see here the dials do turn, and he's got the little bumps on here so you can grip these. And the original Omni did have that. I'm trying to keep it in the light here, but you can see how nice these turn. And they're all individually. You see how they turn individually like that? And what else is cool is the numbers are engraved, as you can see, and they match like the original prop. Like the inner ring is the months. The next ring is the days of the month. The next one after that is, I think, the, let me see, I'm trying to get a good reflection on it. That might be the first two digits of the century, and then the last one might be the last two digits of this century. Oh, maybe it's the other way around, because it goes up to 19. On his, on the show, he ends up in 1982, and he goes, that can't be, because he goes, my Omni doesn't go up that high, and he blamed it on being stuck in automatic mode. And so, so this one obviously was only to go up to the 19 years, like the 20th century. So very, very cool. Yeah, and the other thing is, on the original prop, if you look at it, I think when you line up all these bumps, because the bumps they are actually located where the numbers start over. So here you can see between December and January, and then on this one, let's see, the second one, 30, well, it would be 31 actually, if it had a 31 calendar month, but between the 30 and the 1, and it starts over. And on the original prop, I think if you were to line up these bumps up near the top, and there was like that little magnifier right there, there was actually a red V that was painted on there, and when you get all of these lined up, the V would show. But most of the time when you saw the Omni, you could see pieces of the V scattered all around the dial. All right, so let's check out the lights, and I may have to kill the lights to do this, so let's check those out. Okay, so I dimmed the lights down quite a bit because I really want to show you these lights. So there is the one button right here. So now when you hold this flat, you'll see the red light blinks, just like that, just like it did on the show. And on the show, it would make this beep, beep, beep sound, and that would indicate that there was something wrong in that time zone. And then when they got it fixed, it would turn to green. So when you tip this, see how it flips to the green light? And I'm probably not pushing this right. Or maybe the battery might be weak. Well, it's flickering a little bit there, but yeah, I may have to get a fresh battery in there. But anyway, it would light up solid green like that. Okay, maybe that's what's going on. So when you tip it, it goes back to the red blinking light. Make sure that it's flat, and then you tip it up. And you can hear the little switch inside. I'm not sure if my microphone's picking it up. Hear that little click? I don't know, you may not be able to hear it, but it's a directional switch in there. It's kind of like, it's similar to the accelerometer in your cell phone when you flip the screen from portrait to landscape. And so I think that's ingenious. What an ingenious way to do the lights. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I would have never thought of something like that. That is so cool. Not sure why that light is flickering like that. Yeah, it may need a new battery. In fact, maybe I'll put a fresh one in there and see if that changes it. Because I don't know how long this battery's been in here. And he did a video demonstrating each one of these on YouTube for when he was selling them. So, but yeah, we'll have to check that out. And also, I love when you close it, it makes that same sound that it did on the show, almost like that cup sound. So it's really cool. I don't want to slam it too hard, of course, but it has that nice same sound to it. Gosh, this is absolutely wonderful. All right, let's compare this one to the original one that I got about 20 plus years ago. We'll see what the differences are. All right, so if you're curious to see what it looks like inside, this is the inner workings. So it looks like he's got a custom-made board right here. You got the switch over here, a couple of resistors, the battery. It uses one 2032 battery, and then the LEDs are up in here. Now I think what's causing that blinking or flashing is, because I put a fresh battery in here and it does the same thing. So I think what it is you can't be having shaky hands. I have shaky hands because I haven't eaten today. And so if I hold it steady, and actually let me turn these lights down because you're not going to be able to see this light. But it's the shaking. Is what it is there's a, I think it's a little tiny ball bearing that goes from one side of the switch to the other, because you can hear this, you can hear something kind of moving in there. And so if that ball isn't resting right up against the switch, it's going to make it flicker. So I try to hold this steady. You can see the light blinking. And then if I flick it over, see I'm shaking, but if I try to hold my hands as steady as I can, it's not going to flicker like that. See, it's not doing it. So it's because of the switch that's in there. So I'm trying not to shake, because you can see my hands. There we go. See, it's a little better. So that's what it is. It's not a flaw with the circuit. It's a flaw with my shaky hands. So that's what it is. But yeah, that's what's on the inside. And so very cool, very nicely done electronics inside. When you take the screws off, the clip comes off with it. That's what that looks like. And then here's the back. And then very nicely done here. He's got the, see if I can get the light on here. It says handcrafted by Shay Evanoff. So Shay Evanoff is who made this. So Shay, if you're watching, thank you very much for this beautifully, beautifully made Omni. You really went above and beyond on these things. Stunning, stunning pieces. Let me get everything put back together. Okay, now let's take a look at the difference between these two Omnis. Now this one here, I got this one probably over 20 years ago. I did a full video on this probably over a year ago. It's been a while. And I talk about this prop, I talk about the show, what happened to the actors. A lot of people seem to like that video, so I'll put a link down in the description if you haven't seen it and you want to check it out. You can check out that video. This one here was made by a gentleman named Sci-Fi Prop Guy, and I think he only made 5 or 6 of these. I mean, it was extremely rare. This one is super, super heavy. I mean, it's almost unrealistic how heavy it is. But, I mean, it's a very nice piece, and very few of these exist. I think the last time I saw one of these go up on eBay, it sold for something like $1,200 or $1,100, something crazy like that. And so I really love having one of these because they are so rare. But you can see just immediately, here's the new one. See the size difference on these? This one is, I didn't realize it, but this is way too big. This one here is much, much more accurate to the actual size. That is more like how it should be. Also, like I mentioned, the patina on this looks more like it did on the show. Now, this one did have some patina on it from, because if you touch this enough times, over time, this will tarnish. And I did polish this a while back, and it's starting to tarnish a little bit more again. But I did polish it for that last video. I just wanted it to look, clean. But you got the V on the front here of this one, but I think this one definitely looks more accurate. This one does also have Time Waits for No Man on the edge, but it doesn't have any design up here, and I still haven't gone back to look, but this may very well be more accurate to have that design. I think I remember seeing that on there. There's a slight difference in the angle on this one here versus this one, but it's not really a big noticeable difference. I mean, I'm not really sure which is probably more accurate. I'd have to go back and look at the show again. But the only other thing, like I mentioned, I do wish this one does have the plunger, the activation button, and I do wish this one would have had that on there just to make it look more accurate, and even if it was non-functional, that was fine. But, not a big deal. Okay, now let's take a look at the side view. Man, these things are so heavy, it's breaking my back. Alright, so look at the thickness difference on these. This one is definitely more accurate, the new one. This is more accurate, it's not as thick, this one's definitely way more thicker. The only thing that really ever bothered me about this one is how high this dome is. See how much higher that dome is compared to this one? This is way more accurate. It should be a lower profile to the dome than this one. So, yeah, this one's far more accurate when it comes to that. And now this one here on the back, you can see the differences in the clips. So, like I said, we didn't really get to see the back of the Omni on the show, so I'm not really sure what the clip looked like. This one here is definitely a durable clip that you could hang this on your belt, but gosh dang, this thing is so unrealistically heavy that I can't imagine carrying this on your belt. I mean, it would just weigh you completely down. This one here, I think that looks so much nicer. I mean, it's way more decorative. It looks nice. I love how it's shaped like the V, and you got the V engraved in there. So, yeah, by far, this is a much better look to it. And I think he said something about this little section that kind of sticks out there. I think that's accurate to the prop too. But it also probably helped give him some more room for electronics in there. But yeah, definitely a difference on the outside of these props. Looking at the inside now, we can see there's definitely a difference in both of these. I actually didn't realize how inaccurate this one is now after looking at the new one. So Shay, you really did your homework on this. I mean, you really did. It's really fantastic. So now this one here, I'm trying to remember. It's been over 20 years. I'm pretty positive this one actually came with a flat piece that was in here that had a hologram of a globe in there. So it actually wasn't a three-dimensional globe like you see here. So I remember I took that out and put this one in instead, and I don't remember if this came with this piece, and the sci-fi prop guy said you can change it out if you want. I don't remember because I don't remember where I would have gotten this if I did. So I don't know. I think I may have changed it to the three-dimensional one. This one does have the turning dials as well, and they're also engraved, as I showed in the other video. This one does have that. And the difference on this is there's a button for each light. So this one does have a blinking red light right here, although you can really see the LED in there. And then this one's got the solid green one. So I would say I like the look of the lights better on this new one because they have more of a frosted look. You don't see the LED so obviously in there. And also, on the original prop, it's a much bigger globe. Like this whole section here is bigger. Like you see here, this is much more accurate. This is a little too small in here. I didn't really realize that until comparing these two, side by side. The other thing, as I mentioned, this one's got that really nice dome with the crosshairs on it. This one would be more reminiscent to the later version of the Omni that we saw later on in the show when that fell off. I'm guessing what happened to it. But yeah, this one here is all brass too, and it's hefty. I mean, this thing is heavier than this one, but this one, well, I don't know. Yeah, this one's a little heavier than this one, but I mean, this one's no slouch. That one's got some decent weight and structure to it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am definitely loving this new one so much better. It is much more accurate in so many ways. I mean, just overall, outside and inside, and just the look of it. I mean, I cannot say enough amazing things about this piece. So let's put this on the stand now so we can see how it looks. So you'll notice there's this little bit right here that sticks up. That actually goes right in the loop right here on the top of the Omni. So you can just lean it on here. You can display it closed if you'd like, or you can display it open, which is how I'm going to display this, because you won't have to worry about the dust getting on here because we can just put this nice globe on here. And I think that's going to look really good displayed just like that. So I found these on eBay. Now, out of the 15 that Shay made, he had already sold 10 of them. There was only 5 left, and they were on eBay. So there was 3 of them that had the buy it now option. They were selling for $850. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money for these, and it is, but you also have to understand that these are very, very labor intensive to make. They're made of metal. They're not cheap plastic. I mean, if Sideshow Collectibles or Hot Toys or somebody would have made one of these, I guarantee you these would have been made out of plastic. There's no way they would have made these out of metal like this. I mean, there's some serious craftsmanship that went into these. They're very labor intensive. I do not know what these cost Shay to make, but I'm sure it couldn't have been cheap. And just the time alone to make something like that, definitely a lot of work went into it. So yeah, and he also did not use any of those CNC laser cutters that a lot of people use to make parts. This is all handcrafted. I mean, this is like, old world style, beautiful jewelry making, like you saw. It looks just like what it looked like on the show. It's absolutely amazing. Well, anyway, of those 3 that were buy it now on the on eBay, I did make an offer on this one, and he was gracious enough to accept my offer, and that's how I got this one. So now there was 2 others that were being bid on. They were just the standard auction, and that was for San Antonio and Chicago. And there was about a day left to go on the auction, and they were just under $400. And just for the heck of it, I thought, what the heck? I'm going to put bids in for both. And I never thought I would get them. I thought, sure, I'd be outbid. And lo and behold, I managed to win the San Antonio one. And I got that for $405, which is insane to get something of this quality for that price. I mean, really, I was shocked. But I was lucky to get it, and I'm grateful to get it. So I have that one on the way. So I'll actually have 2 of these now, which is really, really cool. Now, I should mention that there are 2 left. Those 2 sold. The other one, the Chicago one, sold for more than the San Antonio one. I think it sold for like $450. There was a lot more people bidding on that one. There's 2 left on eBay as of the making of this video. I'm making this on June 9th of 2022. And the 2 that are remaining, the price has gone up to $950 for those, and there is no option to make an offer. And I understand why he did that, because he probably took a loss on these, and I really hate to see him take a loss on these because, yeah, it's a lot of money, but in my opinion, these are worth every penny. I mean, they really are. And if you're a rabid Voyagers fan like myself, having one of these in your collection is a must. And for it's like, especially of this quality, trying to find a metal Omni is virtually impossible. You can find those 3D printed ones everywhere pretty much on Etsy and all those places, probably Facebook and all that. But finding a metal one of this quality and this caliber, yeah, good luck with that. And he's only making 15, so once they're gone, they're gone. These are definitely going to be very collectible in the future. But and you also get all these extras he threw in. He threw in this nice book that you get, which I'm going to read right after this, and then you also get this really nice display for this, and I think that's really nice. He didn't have to do that, and I think that was really nice to add that. And he also has that nice little certificate back here of decommission, which I thought was a neat little touch as well. So anyway, if you want to get those other ones that are still on eBay, you better get them now, because once they're gone, they're gone. And if you want a good quality Omni, you better get them, because I don't know who's ever going to make another one of these. I think there is somebody else possibly working on them, but that was years ago and I haven't heard back from him. And quite frankly, I don't think he's going to be able to top this, because this one here is top notch. I mean, it really, really is. So a big thank you to Shay for making these. I cannot thank you enough if you're watching, because I clearly can see that this was a labor of love, and it shows in the workmanship. It really is. I can tell you put a lot of work into this, and for fans like myself, this is an absolute dream come true to get such a perfectly made Omni. So thank you very much, Shay, for making that. That's awesome. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it was long. If you want to go check out the video for this one, go check that out. I talk about this prop and also the show and what happened to the actors. I think you'll find it interesting. People seem to really like that video. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate all of you. And I'll see you on the next video. So thanks again, and have a good one.